What's good, gang? It's your boy Scuffy here with another reaction video, man. So as y'all can see the title, 10 times when snitching went terrible, gang. Y'all know the rise, man. But before we start the video, man, make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, man. We on the road to 100K, man. Let's get into it.
Chris, from the most infamous snitch in mob history to a drunk Russian cop and what you won't believe he did to a police informant. Here are 10 crazy times
Yo, that's a
went
body
very
bag,
wrong.
chat. Yo. Wow. Let's see what it is, though. World's list.
Number 10, Whitney Bulger. Whitney Bulger was a notorious gangster
look
from the
mad
Boston
weird already.
area who turned into an FBI informant and helped the federal authorities to take down several members of his rival crime families.
Damn.
However, after he got tipped off about the FBI turning on him, he spent 16 long years running from the feds. For 12 of those
16 years?
he was on the most wanted list of the FBI, underneath Osama bin Laden.
Yo, that's
He was
wild.
finally captured in the year 2011 and given 2 consecutive life sentences. Not only was he charged with things like racketeering and extortion, he was also charged for his involvement in 11 murders. Since
Nah, that's
2011,
wild.
he spent his
Throw the
time
keys away,
incarcerated
chat.
in the state of Florida, pretty much free from any ugly incidents. However, after he was transferred to West Virginia, he wound up dead the day after his arrival.
GG's
His
in
death
that
was a
chat.
pretty brutal one, too. 4 inmates were somehow able to walk into his cell at about 6 o'clock in the morning and beat him with a sock loaded full of metal locks. He then had his eyes gouged out.
Yo, that's something that y'all gotta know, bro. Like, that shit literally happens in jail a lot of times, man. Either you're gonna get hit with fucking a hard ass butter, you're gonna get hit with fucking batteries, or some shit in the sock, boy. What am I
His skull, and the murderers even tried to cut out his tongue. This is pretty classic snitch murder stuff. His eyes and tongues were almost always removed back in the 30s and 40s when a hit was taken out on a snitch. Even though Whitney was a hardened criminal, he had snitched on way too many people, and those people had not forgotten. Snitches don't just get stitches.
Bro thought it
Most
was lit.
snitches,
He's like, yo, I'm snitching on everybody.
end up dead. Number 9. Snitch
Got
with no
caught up.
reward. Frederick Cobia learned the hard way that being a snitch doesn't always pay off. In a Palm Beach County courtroom, veteran detectives and prosecutors...
Guys, if y'all be in certain situations, man, would y'all snitch? Y'all type in the chat, man. Don't be scared.
stood up and vouched for a known murderer at his sentencing trial. They were trying to tell the judge that Frederick was a trusted ally of the police, and that he'd actually helped them out a lot to put away many dangerous criminals by tattletaling. This guy was actually one of their favorite snitches, and was a key witness in roughly 24 cases over the past 10 years. But here's the deal. Frederick was also a heartless murderer, who beat a man with the butt of his pistol and shot him to death in a 2009 home invasion. The attorney for Frederick wanted his sentence to be only 10 years on account of him helping the police. However, the judge didn't really care what he'd done for the police, seeing as he'd broken into a person's home and shot him to death in cold blood, and then proceeded to rob them. So yeah, he gave Frederick 40 years for
40
murder,
years.
snitch or no snitch. Number 8,
That's
Rene
what y'all niggas
Enriquez.
got, man.
Rene
Y'all
Boxer
niggas know.
Enriquez was born in California in 1962. He was a gang member and an influential person in the Mexican Mafia before he turned into a rat, aka federal witness, back in 2003. He left the Mafia and provided American authorities with intelligence on the very criminals he had worked closely with for years. He even showed up to be an expert witness in dozens of criminal trials. He was hoping to get out of prison once he helped the feds to lock up a large portion of the Mexican Mafia. However, in 2015, his release was blocked because of him being a snitch. The judge said that wherever he went, he would be a danger to the people around him because the Mexican Mafia wanted him dead, and the judge was right. He was on their hit list for cooperating with the cops. Also, he happened to be a registered sex offender. If he was put into witness protection, he wouldn't appear as a registered offender. And this was not okay with the ruling authorities. And it's not okay with us either. So he became a snitch for nothing. Rene was denied parole again in 2017 and again in 2019. In fact, he's still rotting in prison and will probably never be let out, even though he snitched on one of the most dangerous mafias in America and put multiple criminals behind bars. Number 7, cash for snitches. In China, apparently it pays to be a snitch. In a totally bizarre...
Hey, listen, like me, bro, I don't condone that snitching shit, you feel me? But, like, there's always some shit that niggas out here writing this shit, and they try to justify that shit with something else or ooh. Like, but I'm telling you, like, It's all crazy, man. I ain't gonna hold you. Feel what I'm saying?
China has begun
I'm gonna just
targeting
leave it
people
as
who owe
that,
money
man.
to
Y'all
the
see what's
government
going
and
on.
other
They still let
businesses
rats
by
out here
posting
in New York.
advertisements
So,
on the popular application WeChat, where they offer cash money to people who rat out their friends and family. How this works is that if you know a person
That's
who
wild.
owes the Chinese government money and you see the advertisement on your phone, if you tell the government who they are and what kind of money they owe, you yourself will get paid. They're actually trying to create a society in which
That's
people
wild.
earn money for snitching on other people when they do something the government doesn't like. I guess that's one way to make the world a better place. Or one way to fill the government's pockets. It just depends on how you look at it. But here's where things get even crazier. These same advertisements are being used to try and catch social dissidents. Rewards of up to $1 million are being advertised on the application for bad people who the government are often after for crimes like mobilizing social forces, whistleblowing, and not paying back debts. The ads come complete with pictures of the individuals, as well as full information on who they are and what kind of crime they've committed. What do you think about a name and shame system like this? Do you think it's a good idea or a bad one? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below.
Bro.
And if you're liking this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Number 6.
Yo, nah, I ain't gonna hold out. That's a bad idea. Wanna know why? Because imagine, yo, let me snitch on this person. Let me take out my phone. Hold on. I have my flash on. Let me take out my phone, right? Boom, you take out your phone. And another nigga right there watch like, yo, why you recording me, boy? He out here go pressing you and shit. Yeah, you feel me? There's some other people that might react way different and might just shoot your ass, bro, depending where you're from.
Facebook being used to
Feel
catch
me? That's
idiot
wild.
people
Hell
committing
no.
stupid crimes and helping solve cases. But this is something else entirely.
Facebook,
A mother of 7 in Illinois has been accused of encouraging her Facebook followers to kill a gang member who turned into a mole for the FBI in a case of stolen weapons. The mother is named Leisha Stansell, and she got busted after being caught with a new AR-15 assault rifle that was stolen from a freight train in September of 2016.
That's wild.
A man named Brian Stafford was also arrested, but then he turned into a mole and started ratting out other people, allegedly. Leisha, angry about her own arrest, went on Facebook and posted pictures of Brian and encouraged anyone who saw him to shoot him in the head. Naturally, the police were not super happy about this. She now faces charges of cyber-stalking along with the gun charges. When asked to be released pending her trial, the judge said no based on the Facebook post, saying she was too dangerous to be out on the streets. So yeah, not so surprising that Facebook and the law look down on heinous posts like that. Number 5. Snitches get stitches. A teenager in Grand Rapids has gotten in trouble for trying to kill another teenager and then burn his body in a mine dump because he thought he was going to snitch to the police about a fight. Yeah, it's probably a good thing this kid was caught with a crime like this early on in his life, because now police have the most likely future serial killer in their sights. This deranged teenager even enlisted the help of one of his deranged friends, who he later revealed he was planning to also kill if he became suspicious that his friend was gonna snitch.
That's wild.
In this case, nobody actually snitched, yet Tobias Lanham, just 18 years old, was charged with first and second degree abetting attempted murder. Tobias stabbed John Bonet 8 times in the chest, leg, spine, and abdomen, and then tried to slice his throat open. This was after luring Bonet to the mine dump with his friend, saying that they were all going to go there to party. After they got out of the car, Tobias called John a snitch and then pulled out a knife and started stabbing. The only reason the young kid survived was because another vehicle pulled up, and Tobias and his friend ran away. And in the end, it was all over a stupid teenage fight that had broken out the week before, with Tobias trying to preemptively stop John from snitching. Number 4. Tekashi 6ix9ine. 23-year-old Daniel Hernandez, also known as Tekashi 6ix9ine, became extremely famous back in 2017 with his breakout rap hit Gunmo. The young rapper has long, colorful hair and tattoos all over his face and body. Have you seen him online before? Or have you heard any of his music? Well, he continued being famous thanks to trolling social media. But this kid's rap career has come to a grinding halt. It actually came to a halt last November when Daniel was arrested for racketeering and possession of weapons. It all has to do with his involvement in the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods gang. Vulture reported his arrest was part of a joint investigation by the NYPD, the Justice Department's Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the Department of Homeland Security. The arrest was rushed due to investigators' worries that Hernandez's former associates were planning to attack him. But after the arrest, Daniel decided he was gonna snitch on the members of his own gang. He implicated the gang members in a string of violent acts, like assaults and kidnappings, and even ousted his former manager as a high-ranking member of the criminal group. But it didn't stop there. He went on snitching and snitching, even alleging that Cardi B was a member of another Bloods gang. But for all his snitching, he's still finished. He now faces the possibility of life in prison, though his sentence could be reduced because of all the snitching. The problem for the rapper is that he'll never make another dollar now that the world knows he's got a big fat mouth and will tell on everyone when he gets in hot water. Number 3.
I ain't gonna hold you. This nigga's out of jail already. And he's still making bread, bro. Regardless, you wanna know why? Because of his trolling, bro. He keeps still trolling, keep posting his videos. You feel me? He's always causing drama or doing some stupid shit when he posts. And the people is just watching and giving him attention. And this is why he's still generating thousands of dollars, bro. But like, you feel me? Y'all niggas always like to support his dumb shit, boy. Oh, God.
Informant misconduct. A former Redmont police detective has gotten himself in some serious trouble after sending inappropriate texts to an undercover informant.
Wow.
He's been sentenced to spend 5 days in jail and 18 months on probation, with special accommodations to be given because of his status as a former police officer. His name is Corey Buckley, and he was once given the Medal of Valor in 2016 for saving the life of another police officer by killing an armed gunman in downtown Redmond. The encounter came with some complications, though. It led to a number of issues for Buckley, including undiagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder and alcohol abuse. But his time in the limelight is now over. While Buckley was working with the Central Oregon Drug Enforcement Team, he met a woman who became an informant by giving him the time and location of an upcoming drug bust. At the time, the woman had an open criminal case against her and was facing a possible prison sentence for her own involvement in the illegal drug trade. In exchange for the information, he gave her a $20 gift card. But here's where things get weird. Several weeks after she helped with the bust, Buckley began sending her inappropriate text messages. He then arranged to meet her outside of a local mall, where he touched her inappropriately inside of his patrol car. The woman was so disturbed by his actions that she snitched on him to his police lieutenant. His career is now over and he's been publicly shamed. Number 2. Snitches get dismembered. A police informant was slain after a police officer she'd been working with exposed her as an informant. This was a gross act of misconduct on behalf of the police in Detroit, and Oakland County has finally agreed to pay $1 million in a settlement with the dead woman's family.
Not even
Here's
$1 million,
how it started.
bro.
Shelley Hillard got busted with marijuana at a motel in 2011 at the age of 19. She agreed to give up her supplier so she wouldn't have to face any charges, and her record would stay clean. Police were then able to arrest the drug dealer a few hours later. Just a couple of days later, Shelley wound up dismembered and dead. A police officer had given the details of Shelley to the drug dealer, revealing her as the informant. In revenge, the criminal gang that her drug dealer was associated with tracked her down, chopped up her body into pieces, and then set her on fire. The murderer, Kasim Rakib, has been sentenced to 25 years in prison for her murder. Number 1. The Drunk Russian. In November of 2015, a police officer in St. Petersburg, Russia, met with an informant. The officer's name was Andrei Artemyev. When he met the informant, he had already been drinking pretty heavily that night. For whatever reason, the two began exchanging heated words. Andrei pulled his gun from its holster and started waving it around like a lunatic. During all the waving, his finger hit the trigger, and he shot and killed the informant. It was a drunken accident, but Andrei got charged anyway with abusing authority and misusing his firearm. Prosecutors wanted to give the cop 12 years in prison for murder, but the judge wasn't having any of that. Instead, the officer got charged with criminal negligence and only spent 9 months behind bars. What? Do you think that's fair?
That's not
Thanks
fair,
for watching.
bro.
Would you ever be a snitch to save your own butt or someone else's? Let us know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and come back again soon for another crazy video. We'll see you next time.
I ain't gonna hold you, gang. This is why you do shit on your own, bro, when you feel me, so you nobody's involved. But don't do bad shit, though. If y'all enjoyed this video, man, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and comment, man. We on the road to 100K, man. And y'all know the vibes. I'll catch y'all next video.